Oh, other than that, Dr. Irwan, most of us are eager to know what should students consider before pursuing our study or moving on to getting a job after graduation. Fellow audience will be inspired from hearing your experience to be successful in their future career. Oh, other than
Okay.
that, Dr. Irwan, most of us
So
are eager
you need
to
to,
know
what do you have to
should
think about
students
when you
consider
decide whether you want
before
to
pursuing
continue
our
your
study
study or
or moving on to
to
getting a
start
job
working?
after graduation.
Well, firstly, if you do your postgraduate study, you're going to get paid very little. Yeah, remember, I work as a research assistant at MTech. So this was over 10 years ago. You know how much I got paid? 1,500 ringgit. Do you know how much you will get paid today if you are a master student? Usually, 1,500 ringgit. If you have SGRA, the Special Graduate Research Allowance, you can max out to 1,800, but usually you get 1,500. For GRF, I think you get 1,000. So anyway, if you get 1,500 ringgit today, does that mean you and the people back in 2010 will have the same purchasing power? No, because of inflation. So for the past years, annually, the inflation rate is about 0.6% to 3%. So you can talk to your friends who study in business school. They'll tell you that the ringgit depreciation cumulatively is about 20%, 25%. What that means is you need 20% more money now to afford the same thing 10 years ago. Yeah. So for example, if you want to maintain a certain standard of living with 1,500 ringgit per month 10 years ago, today you will need 20% of 1,500, it's 1 in 5, 300, 300 plus 1,500, 1,800. So today you need 1,800 ringgit to maintain the same standard of living. Anything less than that, you basically can't afford to live like how people were before. So that's a serious thing. It doesn't look good financially in the short term and in the middle term. However, for the long term, doing your master's and doing your PhDs, getting a PhD might compensate for that. I learned about this when I was trying to write an article for my website a while ago. It's about considering choosing to continue to study or to work. So I did some reading on that topic. I found that in many countries, including Malaysia, people do earn better if they have higher education. So this is the same in the US, in Japan, in South Africa as well. Today, if you have a PhD, you can earn probably 5,000 to 6,000 ringgit at least. So that's a decent argument for saying that you will earn more later. But then you can counter argue it because, it takes, 5 to 7 years to get there. You have to do your master's maybe 2 years and then your PhD for another 4 years. So that's 6 years. So instead of doing your master's and PhD, if you spend the next 6 years working on your own business or working in private companies, you might earn way more than that, and you don't need the PhD. So I guess the conclusion for my point number 1 is don't do master or PhD only because you think you're gonna earn more money. It's possible, but it's not clear that will be the case. But I'm confident to say that you will earn enough, inshallah. You won't be in the B40 category. You can get to the upper end of the M40 category. And secondly, if you want to decide whether you want to continue your study or you want to work right after you finish your undergraduate study, ask yourself, how do you want to live experientially, like day to day? Because, like I said, you do masters for 2 years and then PhD maybe 4 or 5 years. That's a big chunk of your life. Are you going to be okay spending it that way? Ask yourself, So there are specific questions that you can explore, and depending on the answer, you can decide for yourself whether you want to continue studying or start working. The first question, for example, this is a scary one. You're going to be okay spending it. Do you really like the field you're studying right now? That you can explore, and depending. Some students avoid that question to themselves because you want to continue studying. Well, because they're worried to face the possibility that they have taken the wrong path and they have wasted the last 3-4 years doing this degree. Field you're studying right now. Well, first of all, when you learn something sincerely for the sake of God, you never waste it. Well, because they're worried. Every megabyte of information that you have learned will shape your thoughts, will help you grow as a person. So you would only think learning is wasteful if you focus it from the materialistic lens, right? Because if you study science, studying science trains your mind. Scientific thinking shapes the way you deal with problems, the way you view the world. So that training of mind, that scientific problem solving are useful, even if you don't work in science career later. If you study science, and second of all, there are career paths that don't really care that much what bachelor degree you have. It's not wasted. I read that some jobs in financial services, public relations, human resources, social media, and marketing positions, and journalism, you can enter these fields even with your science degree, even if you can be a science journalist even if you don't have a degree in journalism. You see what I mean? In fact, human resources, it might be, and marketing, it might even make you more competitive if the position is science related, because your thinking, your problem solving skills that you develop in your bachelor's degree, they will become your competitive advantages, no matter which of the programs that you are in right now. It might be, the second question that you can ask yourself is, because you're thinking, if you enjoy, you like the current field that you're studying right now, they will become your, that you want to do this for the rest of your life. Try to consider also which aspect of this field that you enjoy more and which one that you enjoy less. So, for example, do you like working in the lab for the whole day, every day? Or do you feel like working in the lab feels like Dementors of Azkaban, which suck your soul, and you don't look forward going to the lab every day? Or do you feel that you miss working in the lab during this MCO? Right? So you can also ask yourself, do you like academic writing, the complexity of it? Or do you feel like you're falling asleep at every paragraph when you try to write your thesis or your lab reports? Or you actually enjoy writing them? You feel like you are intellectually exploring things. So finding answers for these questions are important, because if you do want to get a PhD, that will be your life day in and day out for the next 4 years, 5 years. And if you think that God, I can't even wait to even get done with my final year project, I can't stand this anymore, then you should consider an alternative path. And last one, this is something I put in the article. Consider seriously other dimension of your life, such as marriage, right? So when your mom asks you to get married early, sometimes you kind of dismiss it because you think she just do that because she wants grandchildren, right? But come on, look at the matter as a science student. I know we can feel young no matter what age we are. When your mom asks you to get married early, no matter how young you feel at heart, because you think your physiology has a clock. You physically get older every year. Come on, look at the matter. And as you get older, you will face more risk and problems to have children, to start a family. And that's just biology. So for guys, for example, you might feel like that you've got a lot of energy right now, right? You can conquer the world right now. That energy level over time, they will go down. And taking care of a wife and children is energetically expensive. So you need to be fit physically to be a great husband. You know, to come back from work after hard work in the office. You need to come home and help cleaning the house and be attentional, to pay attention to your wife, to play and teach your children, to deal with family crisis from your side of the family and the family crisis from your wife's side of the family. You need energy to think about and to manage your finances, to manage the spiritual education of your wife and children. And all these need mental and physical energy. For girls, for the female students, beside the energy level, you will also face the higher risk the longer you wait to get married and getting pregnant. And the risk will come to the baby, the risk will come to your own health. You can get sick and going through so much pain beside the energy level if the risk is not managed properly. Now, at this point, you might think, why are we thinking about family and pregnancy this early and in a career forum, right? The answer is because all these factors, career choices, money, family, they all interact with one another in your life. You're not running them separately. You run all those operations simultaneously. And if your love life, your personal life, your family life fall apart because you don't think them as much as your career, you're going to go through some psychological pain that you can't imagine right now. I know this because I've been there. So you don't want to ignore your personal life because of career. So I suppose part of wisdom is try to perceive life multidimensionally, try to perceive them all at once. So not just the career dimension and not just the family dimension separately. So try to be wise and try to think about your career choices strategically by considering all those things, considering how you want to experience your day-to-day for the next 3 to 5 years, and also consider about getting married sooner rather than later. Right. That's all for now. Thank you.